Right, hello Year 9. Well, today we're going to work towards almost the completion of our topic on moments, levers and gears to look at the gears themselves. So, our learning objectives are: what are gears, where are they found, and how do they work? So, let's have a look at some gears. They're found in all sorts of places. This picture is of a Victorian lift that uses interconnecting gears to change one small motion into a larger motion. So, they're used to multiply, change, or divide up rotational forces. That's forces in a circle. So you can think of them as similar to levers, but in the rotational sense. So, where do you find them? I suppose the most obvious places are in gearboxes in cars and bikes. We all see the gears change as we shift the gear on a bike as the chain changes the cogs on the front and the back gear set. We can also see them in children's toys, but usually they're hidden away in the bowels of the object that we can't see. But they do have a very important role to play. Because they are interconnecting wheels, as one rotates that way, that then forces the adjacent wheel to rotate in the opposite direction. So the turning force in one wheel is translated to the turning force in the other. So, in this example, we have two gears. One has 12 teeth, one has 24. The gaps between the teeth are the same. So we can see that wheel B is half of wheel A. We have a look logically. Wheel A has 24 teeth, wheel B 12 teeth. So the ratio of teeth of A to B is 24 to 12. And reducing that down to the lowest common denominator, the lowest common ratio is 2 to 1. So if we were to use a stopwatch to measure how long it would take, if wheel A does one turn in 20 seconds, then wheel B will turn twice in 20 seconds, because as every one part of the gear moves round, it takes another one round. So as this goes all the way round, that will have to go round twice to match it. So the ratio of speed is 1 to 2. 1 revolution of A to 2 revolutions of B. The teeth ratio and speed ratio just get interchanged. That's quite simplistic. Hopefully pretty easy. Here's a good example of how we can use it to speed things up. In this housing, we have a motor that's connected to a large gear. As you can see, there are lots of notches on the gear, but here there's a small gear, and this small gear is connected directly to a fan on the other side. As a result, if this gear, rotates quite quickly with the motor, it will cause this small gear to rotate even faster making the fan go round even faster. Now, we can also use gears to multiply forces. In this example, wheel A has 12 teeth and B 24. A has got half the number of teeth as B. So, reading through, the moment on force A is 10 newtons. The force applied at A will be the same force applied at B, but the moment of force B will be 20 newtons because it's double. The ratio of teeth to A to B is 12 to 24 or 1 to 2. So as a result, it will be doubled. Ratio of the radii of 2 to 4, 1 to 2, again, means that it's going to multiply up. So the ratio of A to B, 10 to 20, 1 to 2. In short, the ratio of teeth equals the ratio of radii equals the ratio of moments. So by knowing one moment, we can, and the ratio of the two gears, we can work out the other moment. So, can we find out the ratio of the teeth and speed in this instance? Pause the video to have a go. Well, as you can see, if this is A and this is B, A equals 12, B equals 36, and there is a factor of 3 between them. So it's logical that for every 1 turn of B, we need 3 turns of A. Every 1 turn of A will give us a 3rd turn of B. Right. Let's have a look at a couple of questions. So, we want to know the moment around wheel A. So this is our question. We don't know the moment. But we do know the moment here equals 120. So, we know that the moment ratio, so the moment of A over the moment of B, is going to equal the radius of A over the radius of B. All we need now to do is substitute in, knowing that we have 20 over 30 equaling our moment of A over our 120, which is from B, rearranging and substituting in 20 times 120 over 30 equals M. M works out as 80 Newton meters. Hopefully that makes sense. The next example I'll leave you to go through in your own time. This can be considered an extension, so if you've had difficulty with it, it's understandable. Here we're working out what the force is. And the force, as we know, that F equals moment over distance from the pivot, we can work out the force acting on either wheel. And this is the last one. The moment about the 2 centimetre wheel is 6 Newton meters. What's the moment about the 10 centimetre one? Give you a moment before I give you the solution. Here we go. Well, we know that the teeth ratio is 10 to 2. Sorry, the size ratio is 10 to 2. We don't know what the moment is of the 10 centimetre one, but we know the small wheel has a moment of 6 newtons. So we know that the ratio can look like that. Substituting in, we've got 10 over 2 equals m over 6. Rearranging gives us a moment around the 10 centimetre wheel of 30 Newton meters.